What's going on? Your boy Chili, and we got the New Year's Eve episode, and we do kind of have a little countdown, although not really in order. Me and my guy Gridiron, we are going to bring 8 of the top solo individual performances of the 24 high school football season here in the state of Arizona. That kind of appealed to us, that we kind of felt. Actually, I was there for at least one of these games, and Gridiron was there for at least one of those games also. So one of the games that we're about to talk about. So man, there were some huge performances. Not trying to slight anybody because I already know that some people are going to be mad at the situation. But these are kind of the ones that stood out to us the most. I already took some heat about our big games from last week, and I feel a little bad. Look, man, I feel bad. Look, your boy almost crushed a whole bag of Skittles. I felt so bad. Look, I got these for Christmas. A little bit before Christmas, I opened these early in the stocking. But look, this bag almost half empty. I just been chowing down on these things because you know um, people's feelings were hurt. We didn't recognize their game. They felt like those games were bigger. Look, the same thing's about to happen. Look, me and Gridiron, we felt like some of these games stood out to us a little bit more for one reason or another. And look, we were limited. We were very, very limited. Talk about 8 performances because look, we could do this all night and talk about the top 100 performances, but I just don't know what purpose that would serve. Listen, the Cardinals are struggling; they're out of the playoffs, so I'm not really going to get too much into that. They probably need a new quarterback. I like Gannon. I like the coach. I think that their coaching staff is okay. I just think that they need probably a new quarterback. Nothing personal against Kyler. I just think that they need to go in a different direction. Like the Giants. The Giants about to get Shador, so I'm excited about that. The Suns are they're gonna hover around 500 and be super mediocre during the regular season. Maybe not pop off too much. Maybe get 10 games above 500 or something like that. But look, they just need to be healthy, get into the playoffs. I don't care if they're in the play-in game or the third seed or the 1 seed or whatever. They're healthy, they're winning. I'm gonna support my guy Gridiron and all my local Suns fan friends, and they're gonna do that thing. Also, ASU, make sure that you guys support tomorrow night. Forks up, y'all know the deal. It's about to get crazy. Tempe is super lit. Painting ATL gold. Can't wait to see what them boys have in store. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in according to Eric Newman, the most handsomest man in high school football media, the one and only Gridiron Arizona coming up inside the numbers. Y'all know the deal. 8 performances.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you repping with the D-backs.
Yeah, you didn't mention that team.
See, well, I mean, they're out of season, and
Corbin Burns, baby. Corbin
hey,
Burns.
that's a big deal. That is a big deal. I am kind of impressed about that. Look, 8 performances, or 8
The reason we
performances.
didn't do more is because we would have run into midnight. That's why we didn't do 100.
Yeah, so that would have been crazy bringing the new year with performance number 1. Look, we didn't rank these any specific way, but I gotta say, if I do say so myself, which I'm about to say, I think we did a pretty good job picking out these performances. I thought, me and you sometimes will try to help each other out, correct each other, try to, change some things up. But there wasn't too much that needed to be changing other than we decided to add 2 names to this list. We're not going to say which 2, but we did add 2 names to this list. I think we should just kind of get right into it. Oh, there is one thing that I did want to ask because somebody asked me, did all of the Inside the Spotlight kids, did they go undefeated?
I thought the last. Who did we do last? We did.
Caden Branson. We know he won.
Yeah.
And was it Nico Boncourt?
I think it was.
You won.
They did.
So, dun, 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 dun.
Undefeated.
Hey, and it's weird because you I don't want to blast you, but you were concerned about the Centennial game costing us.
I picked Mountain View. I did.
And I was concerned about the Liberty game and because I picked Basha,
Yeah.
so hey, look, inside the number spotlight.
The power of the spotlight there, I believe. Would have been went something like 14-0, 15-0, something like that.
The biggest stars play their best when the spotlight is on them. That's just the truth. That's just the reality of the deal.
On the Tuesday before their game, so a little 3 day in advance thing, and
undefeated.
The Karma was undefeated. Yeah.
Undefeated, and some of these guys that we're about to bring up are spotlight kids. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this because I am super excited about this. We are going to talk about the first one that I want to show love to.
You got some yellow paper tonight?
Yeah, we got yellow paper. You know how we get down. The first one I want to talk about is my guy Dylan Hayhurst, the super talented running back from Goldwater. The linebacker running back
for his end of his career.
My man's absolutely did a thing against Apache Junction. That night was September 13th, 2024. 333 yards, 6 touchdowns. My man went crazy, and it wasn't enough to do it on offense. He flipped around, went on defense, got himself 9 tackles. Hey, Gridiron, jump inside the numbers on this game. Let us know what happened.
Yep, we're looking at running back Dylan Hayhurst to Goldwater in week 3 against Apache Junction. 31 carries, 333 yards, 6 touchdowns in a 45-40 win. So they needed all of those. The Bulldogs had the ball last, and they scored with 8 seconds left. It was a 5-yard run by Hayhurst. Goldwater ran the ball in this game 44 times for 458 yards. So it wasn't all Dylan. He had a little bit of help. They were 0 for 2 passing in the game. And it was only week 3, but it was the second week in a row that Hayhurst had at least 5 touchdowns. He had another 6-touchdown game in November against Willow Canyon, which got the Bulldogs to the playoffs for the first time since 2007. And then for the season, his senior year, Dylan Hayhurst, 2,304 yards, 35 touchdowns. So a little 2K action there.
Crazy. Man, such a special year. The kid did his thing. I know that he was really featured in that big matchup versus the ALA Gilbert North. And I know that ALA Gilbert North really wanted to make sure that they shut him down and try to contain him, obviously. So, look, hell of a year for Dylan Hayhurst. Super special kid. Hell of a performance. I'm not going to say that was number 8, but
we did not rank them. So
no, we didn't. We did not rank these. But my man Dylan Hayhurst, that was the first performance that we want to talk about. The next performance that we want to show some love to is coming from my guy over there at Liberty, Caden Fletcher, the NAU commit, did a thing versus Mountain View. Also, September 13th, 2024, 450 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's supposed to be 6 touchdowns, not 6 yards. But 450 yards, 6 touchdowns. The NAU commit went absolutely crazy versus Mountain View, which proved to be one of the best teams in 6A. Let's go inside the numbers on this one, talk about the game a little bit, and Fletcher's amazing performance.
Yeah, it was Mountain View's only loss of the regular season, of course. Hayden Fletcher, the quarterback at Liberty, week 3 against Mountain View, 22 of 30 for 450 yards, 6 touchdowns in a 49-20 win. He had touchdown passes to Braxton Wynn, who had 3 of them, 60, 40, and 52 yards. That's part of how you rack up 450 yards is you have some long TD passes. 2 to Brody Pilegard and 1 to Drace Wadlington. Both teams came into this matchup at 2-0. Fletcher started the game with 3 straight scoring drives. Liberty led 35-0 in the third quarter to start a running clock. They jumped on him early. It was 21-0 after the first quarter. Fletcher, for the season, his senior year, his 1 year as the starter for the Lions, 3,266 yards, 33 TD passes, and of course he signed with NAU, not just a commit but a signee.
Man, hey, that's big time, and I'm super excited for him. I think that Hayden Fletcher is super special talent, and I can't wait to see what he does at the next level since he's been given that opportunity. And also, we can't forget that he's obviously part of back-to-back open division.
I was gonna say I kind of neglected to mention repeat state champion Liberty Lions. Yes.
Hey, we are breezing through this show because we all know that it's New Year's Eve and got to make sure that everybody gets places timely. So just watch this in the background, let this thing play out. Me and Gridiron, we're just gonna do our thing. It's mostly gridiron though. It's mostly gridiron. So it's mostly gridiron. We're getting a lot of love on Twitter, so I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this is mostly a gridiron thing. Anyways, inside the numbers, his segment. Pretty soon the podcast is coming.
People to come my way when they're mad that their kid didn't make it for the top performances.
Well, look, hey, speaking of top performances, and I know that you got out to one of these games. Maybe it was this one here. Super talented running back Cavante Paul versus Agua Fria. Popped off 295 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Also added 112 passing yards, multi-dimensional offensive athlete. The running back had a super special night.
He's the quarterback.
He's the quarterback.
Yeah, he's the quarterback.
Man, well, he's running that thing like a running back, so we made him a running back. But super special performance, Cavante Paul.
Yep, we got quarterback Cavante Paul for Ironwood. This was week 6 at home against Agua Fria. Had 30 carries, 295 yards, and 4 touchdowns, plus 112 passing yards in a 42-26 homecoming win. Ironwood scored touchdowns on 5 of their last 6 possessions in the game. 3 of Paul's touchdowns came in the second quarter. In the same game, Agua Fria running back Javier Cook had 22 carries for 233 yards and 3 touchdowns. So it was the rare game of can you top this with both running backs scoring multiple touchdowns? Well, a running back and a quarterback scoring multiple touchdowns, and both players.
So you did it too.
100 yards. I did it too.
I'm just saying, my man. I was watching the highlights. I popped the highlights in, and I think I did see quarterback in there, but like my man moves like a bona fide running back.
Well,
like
he was a bona fide running. Paul had over 100 yards in the first quarter. He eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark in the game, and this was, of course, game 6 for the Eagles. And he was the team's starting running back last year and had 669 rushing yards as a sophomore. Ironwood rushed for 415 yards as a team in this game. Paul, for the season, his junior year, had 1,635 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, and he also had 8 TD passes for the Eagles, who finished with a winning record at 6-4.
Man, hey, super special night. I'm glad that you got to go see that. One that I got to go be a part of. I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But another running back that popped off did his thing. Reese Bodley, the super talented running back from Mountain View, October 18th, 2024. He went off for 318 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 29 receiving yards, and another touchdown. Absolutely spectacular performance by the Mountain View running back, Reese Bodley. Why don't you jump inside the numbers of this game, Mountain View versus Mesa?
Yep, this was running back Reese Bodley for Mountain View, week 8 at home against Mesa. 24 carries, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, plus a touchdown reception in a 63-30 homecoming win for the Toros. Mountain View gained 607 yards of offense and scored 9 touchdowns. The 318 yards broke the school's rushing record for a single game. Mountain View led 28-16 at the half, and then they exploded in the fourth quarter to blow it open at 49-16. Scored 3 straight touchdowns and went on to win, as I said, 63-30. Bodley for the season ended the year with 1,518 yards, 16 touchdowns, plus 2 receiving TDs, so 18 total touchdowns for the senior Reese Bodley.
Man, Reese, an absolute stud. Fun to watch him work. Got to watch him late in the season a couple times versus Cesar Chavez, versus Red Mountain. Did his absolute thing, and then obviously in that championship. Yeah. So on to the next one. We're going to get some more offensive firepower in here. Let's talk about our guy inside the number spotlight alum, Cooper Perry, the Oregon Duck commit. Did a thing on November 1st, 2024 versus ALA Gilbert North, 302 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, 53 rushing yards, and another touchdown. The offensive weapon absolutely blistered ALA Gilbert North in that game, winning game MVP, got a heavy belt for that.
Yep.
And, one thing that I was told was by a defensive coach from ALA Gilbert North that they noticed that Cooper Perry was limping in the second half of that game, and he was continuing his dominant performance, doing his thing, and they were just super impressed. So Cooper Perry, the super talented wide receiver offensive weapon from Notre Dame Prep. Jump into the numbers of this game a little bit.
Yeah, let me check something real quick. Yeah, this was, you mentioned him limping. In the next game, which was their final game of the regular season against Desert Mountain, he just had 1 reception and then had to leave the game, and then did not play in the playoff game for the Saints either. We're looking at Cooper Perry from Notre Dame Prep, wide receiver. This is week 10 against ALA Gilbert North. 12 catches for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns, plus a 53-yard touchdown run in a 51-48 win. It was a classic game for senior night. The Saints came in on a 4-game losing streak, so it was a little bit unexpected that they were able to play so well against an ALA Gilbert North team that at the time had a chance to make the Open. Because remember, they ended up being the top seed in the 5A, so had ALA won that one, they likely would have been in the Open. This was the Fiesta Bowl game of the week, and you mentioned Perry was the MVP, got the belt. Perry's touchdown receptions were from 56, 51, and 23 yards. The quarterback for the Saints was sophomore Luke Jacobs, who was 19 of 38 for 395 yards and 5 touchdowns. For Cooper Perry, he had 707 receiving yards in his senior year with 11 touchdowns. For his career, had 51 receiving touchdowns, 7 touchdown runs, a punt return for a touchdown, and a kickoff return for a touchdown. So he scored a total of 60, and he is, of course, a signee with Oregon.
All right, I do got some special guests coming on the show tonight. I can't wait. I will bring them on shortly. We do gotta run through some more of these performances. We've done 5, so we got 3 more, right? We've done 5, we got 3 more. Yeah. And I know everybody's gonna try to kill me with the like, dang, Chili, like you guys really just not gonna show no love to no defensive players. Y'all are super hateful and disrespectful. Listen, I got you. End. Hey, nah, stop the hate. Your boy Chili, I'm coming through. My man Joshua Hopphaus, 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 the linebacker, aka LK from Desert Edge, had an insane game versus Sunrise Mountain. 17 tackles, 1 offensive touchdown. My man flipped around. He got bored on defense. He was like, you know what? I'm done with all the tackling business. Let's see if somebody can tackle me while I make my way into this end zone and get 6 on the board for my guys. Listen, this game was important. Let me tell you why this game was important. Because this was going to be the last time that Desert Edge ever saw what 500 or under really looked like in the standings. This put them over, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at 4-3, and they never looked back. I know they lost the game down the stretch, but they never really looked back. So shout out to my man Hopphaus, did his thing, aka LK. Hey, Gridiron, let's go inside the numbers on this spectacular defensive performance. See, we show love to the defense. Stop the hate.
Yes, we do. Linebacker Joshua Hopphaus for Desert Edge. This is week 8 at Sunrise Mountain. 17 tackles, 8 of those solo, plus a touchdown run and a 2-point conversion. Desert Edge trailed this game 17-7 at the half before rallying to shut out Sunrise 35-0 in the second half. This victory came in the middle of a 5-game win streak for the Scorpions, and they did go into this game 3-3. As you mentioned, never got back to the 500 mark again after this. This was Hopphaus's 3rd year as a starter. For the season in his senior year, 136 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 3 fumble recoveries. For, of course, the eventual 5A champion, Desert Edge Scorpions.
Absolute certified problem. My guy, LK, an absolute dog, plays with a lot of emotion. Hey, listen, I remember on Twitter seeing the halftime score, and yeah, I'm guessing a lot of us were like, hey, this is if they lose this game, if they lose this game, it's gonna be all bad. Two more games that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna go to this one right here. Absolutely blistering performance by a super talented quarterback. We only had two on our list. Jaxon Knutson, who was going absolutely crazy all year. 527 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Hey, can he do it with his feet, though? 60 rushing yards, 1 touchdown? Come on, Jaxon. You got to stop it. November 1st was an absolute night. Unfortunately, didn't end up the way that they wanted, but Jaxon Knutson literally left it all on the field, let you go inside the numbers on this game a little bit.
This is the 500-yard game, right?
Yes.
Okay, this was the playoff game. This was 2 weeks later. It was November 15th. Against Campo Verde on the road, first round.
Oh, my man messed it up.
That's all right.
Yeah, we got to blame K Visuals.
He was 32 of 41 for 527 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is, of course, quarterback Jaxon Knutson from McClintock. He also had a touchdown run among those 60 rushing yards in a 42-39 loss. 2 touchdown passes each to Kamon Jackson and Amari Scroggins. It was a shootout. McClintock took a 14-0 lead. Then Campo Verde scored 21 straight. It ended up coming down to the final play. Knutson was tackled at the 1-yard line on a run as time expired. Otherwise, if he gets into the end zone, McClintock moves into the next round. They would have played ALA Gilbert North the next week. For his senior year for the season, Knutson 3,796 passing yards.
Come on.
47 TD passes in 11 games.
47. I really wonder if he remembers all 47 of them things. Really wonder if he remembers all 47 of them things. But, he's a quarterback, so he actually probably does. He probably tell me the play that he ran and all that stuff on his first touchdown and, play that he ran on his 10th touchdown. Before I bring up my first special guest.
He probably remembers the interceptions even more, and there were only 5 of them for the whole season. 47 TDs, 5 ticks.
My man is an absolute
throwing the ball 318 times to just have 5 interceptions. 318. That's almost 30 a game. 30
absolute monster. I do have 2 special interviews coming up right after this last performance that I got to see live in living color with my own eyeballs. I took the trip out to Marana, September 9th, 2024, versus Higley. Desmond Roebuck popped off, 10 receptions, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 tackles, 1 interception, and one of the most phenomenal performances that I really saw. Because, listen, the big question was, they beat South Point early, but could they beat Higley? Higley was back-to-back champs. Like, Higley was primed for the Open. Higley was running on all cylinders. That was a team to beat in 5A. But could Marana do it? And they did, behind a phenomenal performance by Desmond Roebuck in a game in which he also broke the all-time reception record in Arizona for high school. I let you go inside the numbers. Marana, Higley, Desmond Roebuck, special night.
Yep, we're looking at Desmond Roebuck for Marana, the wide receiver. Week 3 against Higley. This was the same night that Fletcher threw for 6 touchdowns. It was the same night that Hayhurst ran for 6 touchdowns. So a lot of big performances early in the season. But this one for Des Roebuck, 10 catches, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus 9 tackles and an interception in a 36-28 win. Higley led 28-13 in the third quarter. Marana scored the last 23 points of the game, and his interception stopped a drive with 2 minutes left. Earlier in the game, in the second quarter, Sean Roebuck took a pitch from Coco Meyer and threw a 12-yard touchdown pass to his older brother. That catch surpassed Brandon Phelps as Arizona's all-time leader. It was number 283 for the reception count, and Roebuck finished his career with 352. So he really put that mark out there. Got almost another 70 catches after that. Was the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year. Was also the Ed Doherty Award winner. For his senior year, Roebuck 1,131 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns, and of course he signed with Washington.
All right. Hey, look, we broke down a bunch of these gridiron. Before I bring on my first special guest, I am curious, any of these that kind of surprise you, that you're like surprised that like, oh, I did not think that was going to happen from him.
Well, I didn't think Morano was going to beat Higley at the start of the season.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning of the season, we all kind of made our preseason, open prediction kind of things. And remember, Higley went into this game 2-0. They were coming off going to California and defeating a really good San Juan Hills team. Their first game against an Arizona team, they beat Campo Verde 42-3. And that's a Campo Verde team that ended up playing in the 5A quarterfinals. So Higley went into that game a decisive favorite, even with Morano's win over Sal Point. And then of course Knutson all season long putting up the big numbers, even bigger than he did last year. Hayhurst was 1,000-yard rusher last year, turned it into a 2,000-yard rusher. I think Fletcher was a little bit of a surprise.
That one surprised me the most, actually.
And it was only week 3 of the season. And remember, he was not the starter last year when Liberty won. It was Navi Brazan. So, stepping in his first year as the starter and then playing a Mountain View team that ultimately went to the 6A title game and having that much success against them early.
All right, look, the Hayden Fletcher game surprised me the most. 450 yards, 6 touchdowns. Look, man, if you told me that Jaxon Knutson was going to do that, I would have been like, oh, I know. Easy money. That's what he does. Literally baby food. 17 tackles for Hopphaus. My man plays all over the field, sideline to sideline, like he can do that thing.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. So that stuff doesn't surprise me. But Hayden Fletcher really did something different versus Mountain View, and I was like, not just surprised, but super impressed. And supporting the kid isn't difficult because he's so talented. But yeah, there's that. And Gridiron, I appreciate you. 52 episodes. Somebody told me it's actually 54 that we doubled some of the numbers.
I took 2 of them off because I went on vacation a few times. So you did 52 episodes.
Well, actually, somebody told me that there's more than
a couple on for maybe a commitment episode or something. I don't remember what you had.
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But look, hey, Gridiron, I really appreciate you hanging out and doing this every Tuesday with me.
We'll do
gotta come into the new year.
2025. Yeah.
Keep the yellow paper going. I'm gonna bring on my first guest. And Gridiron, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Gridiron, you've been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm grateful.
All right.
I'll see you next year. Got to bring on the superstar linebacker, aka LK. Hey, real quick, what's the LK stand for? I think I know, but and I don't know if you want me to say it first or if you want to give me the backstory to it. But I actually do know. I'm just gonna say that Carolina Panthers, but I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, Chili. But yeah, LK, I got that nickname my 8th grade youth football year, my last year of youth football. Coach gave him the nickname LK for Luke Kuechly. He said when I played, he just it reminded him of Luke Kuechly, and then it just stuck. Yeah, I played with Buddha on that youth football team, and then Buddha was calling me that at Desert Edge, and then everyone started calling me it. So that's just how it stuck through.
I love it, man. Hey, I'm curious. We just talked about some of these big performances. You're the only defensive player that really got mentioned. 17 tackles in that game versus Sunrise. You guys were down at halftime, but at what point did you realize hey, this game is going to be special statistically for me?
When I play in games, I just be zoning out. I don't even think about the statistics behind it, but I think it was at halftime. Someone else to me, they're like, bro, you balling, you all over. And then I was looking, because I'd be watching film at halftime, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I am kind of all over. So that's where it kind of clicked in my head. I was flying around that game, but yeah, just playing with that much intensity, that's what our defense does. So it doesn't even click for me that I'm playing like that. It's just normal.
Now I know that you want to win every game, and I brought it up at that point, you guys won the game and you guys never looked at 500 again. Was that something that you guys set out, that you had the mindset personally where you were like, hey, look, if I got to carry this thing on my back and do it all, I'm going to?
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. But with our defense, I feel like I shouldn't even have that. I have so many people around me who have such a similar dog mindset. We just want to go out there and play and just be the best defense in the state. And so playing around that, it's it makes you want to play at your best every single game. And yeah, we went into that game for sure, wanting to just kill the region. So yeah, that mindset, we knew we should not lose the whole region. We did end up losing one game, but yeah, that was for sure a mindset of not losing.
Hey, I'm glad that you brought that up. A lot of people, arguably, the most talented defense in the state, loaded with a bunch of dogs. Jamarville Goins, the big fella up front, Jelani George. You guys got dudes, Jerry Washington, all over the place. Cameron Emile, yourself. What's it like playing in that defense where that like every time you look over one place or the other, you got a stud ready to go.
It's just like doing your job. Like, we have like a lot of talented people on our roster, but no one that's selfish on our roster. Like, everyone knows if I do my job, we're gonna be good. So, like when you have that much talent like on your team and on that defense, it's just if you do your assignment, we're gonna play good and we're not gonna mess up. So that's just how it is. Just doing your assignment, finding your keys, and just executing it.
Hey, and also, look, the story's out there. It's no secret. There was a lot of changes in the offseason, preseason for you guys.
Yeah.
You guys lost the Carter brothers, your coaches. You guys lost your quarterback, your buddy, Buddha. There were some changes. Coach MacArthur takes over. Coach Henry takes that thing over. Coach Ortiz comes back in a little bit bigger role, helping out. The culture. How hard was it to reestablish define new culture over there? You're one of the leaders over there. You have the young guys looking to you. Like, how hard was it to put all that together?
No, yeah, Marcus and Mark definitely created a culture that lives on that Desert Edge. And looking at like the younger people who are looking for those like leaders, I feel like Henry did a phenomenal job just taking over as that head coach. It was like nothing changed really. Like, we all had the same mindset. We all knew what our job was. In the day, you got to win. Like, you got to win a championship. That was the goal with the Carters. That's the goal with Henry. So I would say the culture changed. There was a little bit of culture change, but not too much. Just Desert Edge is Desert Edge, and it will always be Desert Edge. But Henry definitely reestablished that we're for sure gonna have a good chance of winning it all, and then we ended up doing it. So shout out my dog Henry for sure.
Hey, how do you hope that this sets the tone and sets the expectation and the bar for Desert Edge teams in the future?
Nah, yeah, I hope all of them want to win a championship. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why you go out and do it, to play, have fun, and win. So I feel like now that we've done it, because that was our first time doing it in like 9 years, it's like, okay, we're a championship type caliber team. Everyone like remembered that, and it just sets that example. Like, the team last year won a championship, but you gonna have doubters. Now you got to go do it. I feel like 2025, this class had a lot of doubters because the previous classes were so talented and loaded with a lot of good players. So we had that underdog mentality, and I hope the future teams will, because that'll take you a long way.
Hey, you had a hell of a season. LK, my man. Hey, I gotta know though. I'm gonna put you under the gun a little bit. Who had the best performance against you guys? We talked about good performances all show, me and Gridiron, but you got to show some love somewhere, have some respect.
For sure.
Who had the best performance against you guys? Offensive, defensive player from another team. Who was it?
I gotta give a few shout outs to a few people who, like, when playing against them. Yeah, they're doing their thing. And after watching it, they were doing their thing. Dominic, the running back from Liberty, he did his thing.
Okay, Lombardo.
Cooper Perry was doing his thing against us.
Nice.
Jada Taylor was doing really
from Higley.
And I would say there's a lot of few other. I'm blanking right now, but there's a few other people who are doing really good. Yeah. Isadora
in the first matchup in that Venom Bowl?
Oh, Verado, yeah, the Verado running back. I think he finished the most yards we had against us, 250 total yards. Yeah, that was the most, including passing yards. Yeah, that was definitely a player we game played.
Okay. Four guys. I like that, man. Have some respect for the game and stuff. So hey, look, I'm gonna see you at the next level for sure. I know you got some interest. So I'm gonna catch up with you down the line. Josh, Hopphaus. Hey, that's the other thing. How are we gonna be cool all this time? All those flight clubs, and you gonna have me pronouncing your name wrong on all these shows? Me and Gridiron were wondering, like, yo, dude, how come he never told us that it's Hopphaus, not Hopphaus?
Everyone just like. My name is so unique. My last name, I don't know anyone else with that last name. So it's like it gets messed up by my teachers, by everyone around school. So it's just like I just shrug it off. Like, it happens so much. I feel like you close enough. Like, as long as you know, as long as you know it, it's cool.
All right, man. Hey, everybody knows it now. Joshua Hopphaus, super talented linebacker from DE, aka LK. Gonna catch up with you down the line. All right.
All right. Thank you, Chili. Good talking to you.
I'm a man. Take care. Quarterback get the spotlight lives. We're operating in the dark, though. You know the deal. My guy,
Yes, sir.
Jaxon Knutson, super talented flamethrower 2025, Tucson Turf Elite, McClintock's own. Hey, Jackson, a hell of a year. And like I told Gridiron, man, watching you game after game and the film and just dumping touchdowns left and right, 47 touchdowns on the year, 500-yard games, 7 touchdown games. None of it surprised me. I knew, and I told everybody before your junior year started, that's the name to look for, Jaxon Knutson at McClintock. Look, as your best performance, as your best solo performance, I chose this game versus Campo Verde, even though you lost. But you had another game versus South, I believe, where you dumped 7 touchdowns. If you were to pick which game was your best game, which one would you have picked amongst all of your games that you played this year?
That's tough.
I know, because you had 47 touchdowns. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that playoff game. I know it was a tough loss, but I did everything I could, and my team, we fought, and I mean, that was a pretty good game.
Man, it was incredible, you know, and I don't want to bring up the pain too much. Gridiron brought it up, 1 yard short, but you know, I think you kind of squashed a lot of the doubt of like, can the kid move? 60 rushing yards, 1 touchdown on the ground. You know, was that something like? It's the playoffs. You only have one opportunity or you're going home. Was it something that you wanted to make sure that you did before you finish your career, show people that like you can get loose when you have to?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's obviously a goal, you know what I mean? But to me, man, I mean, I'm always been a bigger kid, you know what I mean? You know, freshman year I was pretty big, sophomore, you know, pretty big, but I've always been able to run, you know what I mean? Like you know, not very fast like these guys, Lamar Jackson, these quarterbacks, but I can definitely get out the pocket and scramble a bit and, you know, make the extra long play and, you know, do some things that people think I couldn't, you know what I mean? So this year, just running around a little bit, proving that I can, you know, on a good big stage of varsity football. I mean, just I want people to take notice and just know that I can do everything on the field, you know what I mean?
No, for sure, man. Hey, super special season. What McClintock had, 9 wins? 9 wins this year.
Yes,
when was the last? I don't even remember the last time that they had 9 wins in the regular season. So absolutely incredible what you did. The 47 touchdowns. What are you hoping is the mark that you left behind over there?
I mean, I'm hoping I just left a mark that you can do whatever you want to do, man. I came from a big school, Chandler, as you know, but went to a little school like McClintock, and I had a goal in mind, you know, just to change the atmosphere. And, you know, make people want to come to the football games on Friday, make people want to, like, be excited about football, like their school being excited about football, and just changing the narrative around there, you know what I mean? McClintock, you know, they've always been known for track. They've always had some pretty good basketball teams, but never really football. And I wanted to change that narrative, and I hopefully left a pretty good mark.
Hey, you guys played Campo Verde a couple of weeks earlier at home.
Yes, sir.
Game definitely didn't go the way that you guys hoped or expected or wanted.
Yeah.
One thing that I did notice, your coach was missing, Coach Fell.
Yes, sir.
One, I want to talk about the impact that Coach Fell had on you guys and how much you guys missed him. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, you know, Coach Fell, he went down, I think it was week 9. And, you know, I mean, I just changed the entire team, you know, the morale, we definitely plummeted a little bit at practice. You could see coaches around us were a little lackadaisical, drowsy, but that didn't really stop us, you know what I mean? We always had our same goals in mind. Coach Phil always emphasized, you know, if this is going to be the season, you know, like going 10-0, this is going to be the season. And we always had that goal in the back of our mind. And Coach Phil, you know, he changed a lot. Not just me, not just a couple of other dudes that went over there and changed the program. Coach Phil, I mean, he changed it, like you said. And Coach Phil, he's huge. He's pushed us every single day in practice, made sure that we were just locked in every single day. And when he went down, it was very tough.
Was there any communication though on your part? You're obviously the quarterback, the leader.
Yeah.
So like, was there any communication privately, like phone calls or whatever, with Coach Fell? Because I know that he had to be away, and it was.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much about it, but you know, it wasn't disciplinary. So he had to step away personally. So, was there some communication though
Yeah.
between you and him?
Yes, sir. It's funny because he would actually call me like almost every single day, and he wasn't allowed to call anybody. So that just shows the type of guy
Love
he
that.
is. Just loves football. He'll do anything for his team, anything for his players. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, like you said, I definitely had a couple private phone calls. Me and Phil talking about I got to win this game for us, and I'm going to do everything I can to do it. So Coach Fell, he knew that, and he knew I wanted to do that. So he emphasized it hard on me. He said, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you. And I mean, I tried my best.
Hey, look, and you did a great job. You left it out there completely. You couldn't have done any more as an individual.
Yes, sir.
I am curious. Seventh season is coming up. You're a quarterback. Some of the importance of seventh season that you feel like for kids in general. How would you tell kids, another quarterback coming up? How would you tell him to navigate his sevens experience so that he can
Yeah.
get the most out of it like you did?
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, you want to surround yourself with like a good team. Not only a good team, good coaches, good players, people that want to get better. You know what I mean? So, luckily, I found the most perfect spot. Tucson Turf. My guys over there, they put me in. They welcomed me in like family, and like you said, they made it pretty good. My 7-on-7 experience, but just a young dude that doesn't have hype around him, or just in a spot where not a lot of people know about him right now, and just trying to find a sevens team. Just go somewhere and ball, man. Make people notice, make people want to have you. And if you do that, then like I said, you're gonna have to play, because coaches like quarterbacks that throw touchdowns and win games. So just go do you. Find a team that helps you. Just be better at football. That means tackle. Just getting better at football. That's what sevens is for. Just getting better at tackle. And as a quarterback, you should love 7-on-7, man. You're dropping back and you're throwing the ball every single play.
For sure. Work and some of the things, obviously working on timing with some of your
Timing,
receivers,
yes, sir.
things like that, and your own personal timing with receivers, period, right? So
Yep.
Mechanics and all that
Mechanics,
stuff.
etc. Yep.
Last thing, listen, maybe it's the last thing. I'm not sure. These conversations could go forever. But one thing that I was curious, and I asked Josh earlier, the best performance against you guys that you got to witness from one of your opponents. Maybe there's a couple, maybe there's one that stands out to you. Which one would it be?
Yeah. I heard you talked about Josh. I heard you ask that question, and I already have my answer. It's a dude over at Campo Verde. His name is Bobby Blackburn, number 5.
Oof, running back.
I didn't know anything about him. I just knew that a couple of kids that I played grew up playing football with him. And he proved to me that he's a pretty good football player. He's tough. He didn't play defense much against us. He's offensive, but I can just remember right now that rush he had against us. There was about 30 seconds left in the playoff game, and they just stormed down the field. Bobby got in there. Him being tough and physical just helped him so much. And he was probably the best player I played this year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, and look, a couple of these guys you did get to see on the 7-on-7 circuit. Obviously, Cooper Perez. You played with Desmond Roebuck. What was it like? Watching those guys go to work during your last sevens year.
Yeah, Desmond Roebuck, like I said, like me and my family's always said, just the best football player we've ever seen with our own 2 eyes. And we're not just saying that because, it's family. That's my brother. But just seriously, dude, as soon as I met him, I can remember the first practice we had, him grabbing the ball out there, one hand, jumping over people. I'm just like, who is that guy? And they're all just like, that's Dez. And it was just normal. I was like, that's a normal thing, him just grabbing the ball out there in one hand. And they're like, yeah, that's Desmond. And I figured out really quick that is just Desmond, and he is a really good football player. Cooper Perry, like you said, him getting injured, that doesn't help though. But just like you said, he's a great football player. Obviously going to Oregon, so if you're going there, you're obviously not a slouch. You know what I mean? So him being a good football player. My brother Kimon Jaxon. He's a great football player, the best athlete, I would say, in Arizona. He can do everything. He's a safety, defensive back, running back, kicker. He can do it all. Just a lot of good football players I played, and played with.
Look, as a quarterback, do you think we're ever going to see a receiving class as good as this 25 receiving class was with Kimon,
No.
He's already shaking it. You know
No.
if he finished. Nico, Des, Coop,
Yep.
Gio, like, and you've seen, played with, competed against all these guys
Yep.
at some point. Sevens on the field, like wherever. Like you've
Yes, sir.
seen them all work
Yep. I mean,
live.
yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't think we'll see a better class. Those 5 guys you named, Nico Boncory, Denzel Rumba, Gino, Cooper, those are some of the best receivers we'll ever see in Arizona. You know what I mean? Just what they've done for their programs and what they did for themselves. Just coming in, freshmen, not knowing much about them, and then them blooming to what they are now. All going to Power 4 Division I colleges. I mean, it's spectacular what they did, and I'm just blessed and honored to play football with them and then against them.
Hey, look, you started at a bigger school, but you ended up over at McClintock where you really
sir.
made your name because the reality is outside of me, there really aren't too many people covering freshman football. So a lot of
Yep.
people didn't know. But I told people that the second that you got to play over at McClintock, you're gonna light that thing up, and you did.
Yes,
And you
sir.
did. You know, for another kid coming up, like, do you have to go to the big school? Does it like
Yeah.
how does this work? The transferring and all that stuff that's going on today. Like, should you just go to the neighborhood school, try to make that thing work? Like, how does this work, Jaxon?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's tough. Everyone's situation is different, obviously, but for my situation, I could definitely say going in a smaller school, there's no problem with that. Going in a school where not a lot of people get talked about, not a lot of this, that, but just make a name for yourself and make a name for your team. If you're good enough, they'll find you. People has always told me that, and it's true. College coaches, they'll find you. So it doesn't really matter where you are. If you could just go on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and just perform and just do your thing, stuff's gonna come to you. And I've learned that because I'm living proof. You know what I mean? So
Right.
just go to a small school, go to a big school, whatever works best for you. Go where people want you to play and where you're comfortable, where your family can get you to school and pick you up. Just go what's more comfortable. You know what I mean? Just go where it's best for you. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jackson, I really appreciate you hanging out. I'm gonna catch up with you down the line because 7th season's coming up, and
Yes, sir.
look, I talked to a lot of people. You were one of the best sevens players in the country on the national circuit last year. Doherty medallion winner out here.
Yep.
47 touchdowns, like Gridiron mentioned. Changed everything over at McClintock. You, Coach Fell, Kimon and company.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely spectacular way to finish your high school career. I know I'm going to catch you at the next level. Jackson,
Yep.
I appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to catch up
Yes,
with
sir.
you when 7 starts. I got to get some commentary, some updates, and I got to know who's hot out there on the 7th circuit, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Chili.
All right, take care, Jackson. Two of my favorite absolute bowlers, LK, aka Josh Hopphaus. God, I did it again on the show. That's crazy. Joshua Hopphaus and Jaxon Knutson, who I've been pronouncing his name right since the beginning. Listen, if I get your name wrong, just hit me up and let me know. Tell me. I want to get it right. And also my favorite cat dude, Gridiron. He's got 2 cats or whatever. I saw somebody comment on YouTube that my man's got 2 cats, and somebody tried to hit me with that. I have like 37 bracelets. Look, man, I got like 5 or 6. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6 bracelets. All right, calm down, be easy. Listen, we're just here to talk about some football, high school, college, pros. You never know. Talk about as much of it as possible. We are getting into basketball season though, and I know that Perry's kind of the juggernaut out here. They got some dude Branch. This guy Cole P is supposed to be like pretty good. I am going to catch a game at some point. And there's a bunch of other teams out there that are doing their thing. Girls basketball is also flourishing out here. Got to catch some games. Period. Your boy Chili. I'm going to make my way out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I really appreciate everybody sticking around. Up next, we got season 8 coming. And don't forget, make sure tomorrow you're supporting your ASU, Arizona State University Sun Devils. The Valley is fully activated. Forks up forever. Y'all know the deal. JustChili.tv. Make sure that you guys subscribe. At Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Y'all know what it is.